Greetings from the hangar. This is your captain speaking. Aviate Nate here. I'm getting ready to start flying the Commonwealth. I've actually got a plan to go today and get a couple of stamps. But before I do that, I had to work out a problem that I continue to have with my plane, and it's one that I just didn't know how to fix. So I learned how to fix it, and I'm gonna show you what I learned.
Clear to land, runway 21, Mooney 58 X-ray.
Okay, so first, what's the problem, Nate? The problem is I can't inflate my own tires. Right here it is. There are very few things that you're allowed to do maintenance-wise as the pilot, the owner of the airplane, without the A&P, which is the airframe and power plant, the mechanic certificate to work on planes. There's not much stuff I can do. One of the things I can do is inflate my own tires. And as it goes through temperatures, you know, winter, summer, etc., tires, like the tires on your car, lose air. So let me show you how my tires look on this airplane. Inflating tires is not a complicated thing to do. You've probably inflated a tire in your life at some point before, or perhaps inflated a basketball or a soccer ball or something similar. There's my wheel. That's the valve stem. The valve stem is so close to this hub here, I mean, you can barely even get the cap off. So there was no way I could connect to it with just kind of a standard tire pressure thing. I tried a lot of them. I bought several different tire pumps. There was no way to get the chuck, the little connector, to snap onto that thing with the bad clearance. Now the nose gear is not so bad. Let me show you the nose gear. So the nose gear, you can kind of see the stem just comes right out, and I can twist that off and get right to it. So that is not a problem. But the main gear were really a problem. This one, you can barely even get a screwdriver in between the valve stem and where you need to connect it. So that's the problem. And so my solution has been, call my mechanic, call the mechanic. Here on the airport, there's a mechanic who has done annuals for my plane before. He did my installation for my engine monitor, so we've done some work together. And the last few times I've noticed that my tires have been low, I've just called my mechanic and I've said, hey, can you please come and help? I'm a couple years now into owning this airplane, and I just feel like I gotta be able to inflate my own tires. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of almost embarrassing to be making a video about how I couldn't inflate my own tires. So I went online, I texted buddies, I just tried things. I went to the hardware store. I am terrible at navigating a hardware store. But through the network of people, I did find a solution, and let me show you what that solution involves. Firstly, I had to buy a compressor. So I selected this. This is a Fornax, 125 PSI. It's a 2-gallon compressor. It's a little compressor, like here's my hand for scale. It's small. It's actually very quiet. I was kind of impressed at how quiet it was. It was less than 200 bucks too, which is cool. So I got that for pretty cheap. The next piece, of course, is the hose, right? So I had to buy a hose. So I got this, this 25-foot green hose. Made my own cable tie, there we go. So I got my hose and my compressor, and the final piece was the chuck. Now this is the part that's actually kind of specialized. This right here, that little fella, it's a dual-footed chuck, I believe is the technical term for that. But that end there allowed me to get in and actually service my tires. And then I got this nice, the protective film is still on it. That's how you know it's new. See, I'm not making it up. I got this Jacko, however you say it, pressure gauge and a contraption. So the hose goes in here, and then squeezy, the air goes into the tire. I also bought the same DeWalt safety glasses because I wanted to be safe, so I bought a pair of DeWalt safety glasses. I already had a pair of DeWalt safety glasses, so that's a pretty typical Nate move there, buy the exact same thing twice. I got here today, I had high doubt that I could put it together and make it work. But I did it! I inflated my tires. Look at them, they're beautiful. I'll show you again. That is a fully inflated 30 PSI right there, main gear. And I've also got 30 on the nose and 30 on the other side. When you're filling up your tires on your car, you can open the door, and inside the door usually there's a little sticker that tells you what the pressure should be. Not the old 64 Mooney. There's no plaque inside the door. So I pulled out my pilot's handbook. I have the original 1964 owner's guide. All right, cool. You guys are sitting on top of the airplane now. How about that? Like I was saying, I had to get the PSI, and you have to check your pilot's operating. You got to check your pilot owner's handbook, pilot operator's handbook, POH. You got to check your user's guide for the plane, the POH. So I pulled mine out, and it's ancient, and it doesn't list the tire pressure. Anyway, so I have another copy, like a digital copy, and that one said 30 PSI, all 3 tires. So that's what I went with, the official guidance in the user's manual, essentially. Yeah, so I feel pretty good about it. Tires are pumped up. That was the reason that I didn't want to go on my last video, if you remember me saying I'm gonna stay in the pattern for a number of reasons.
I was gonna go and get some stamps today, but for a few reasons I've decided not to do that.
The number of reasons included my tires being too low. So when I checked them today, they were about 5 PSI low. They were visibly low, and I am pleased to say that I can now service my own tires, and all it took was about $300. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little piece of information, just a tiny bit about how I solved the problem of not being able to inflate my tires. Maybe it will help you. I'm gonna get proper tubes with the right stems installed. My annual's coming up. I know that they're not supposed to be so hard to service, but they came this way, and so until the next annual, I bought some gear to just keep them pumped up so I can keep flying. That's all I got for right now. I'm getting ready to actually do the pre-flight, and hopefully the weather clears out so I can get out of here and go get some stamps. Thanks for watching. Until the next one, this is Aviate Nate, and you can be my wingman anytime.
Clear to land, runway 21, Mooney 58 X-ray.